What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another very special E3 Summer Game Fest episode of the podcast. This is the Burnout Brighter podcast, and today we're going to be talking all about a game that we just got to see called To the Rescue, coming from Little Rock Games. Now, for anyone unaware, To the Rescue is a dog adoption management simulator where you'll be running your own adoption center, and we got to talk to Tanner from the studio, and we showed us a bunch of the footage and how the game will work, and it looks adorable. Destiny, you know I'm a dog person, and having my own adoption center to be able to help dogs find homes sounds awesome. What did you think of what we saw from To the Rescue?
I thought it was really, really cute. Like the character animation, all the cute little like different dogs, the idea of like running your own kind of like adoption agency was really nice. The only thing that like kind of put me off was the idea that like you might have to euthanize your dogs if it like because it's like a simulator, so obviously that happens in adoption agencies, so you can turn that option off, which I'm pretty happy about. But like it it's so cute. I didn't expect that realism
Mm-hmm.
about it, so like after talking to Tanner, he was talking about the fact that he wanted people to like basically experience the realism that comes with having this kind of job and what it takes to run this business, and that it is an emotional business. It's all not just fun and playing with puppies. Like sometimes there are like times where you have to do something that you don't want to do, and
Yep.
if it's getting crowded, then you don't have any space to take on new dogs, and that obviously affects your business. um, but I think it's a great message that they're trying to send out there. So I think for anybody who loves dogs and takes on this game, it'll basically push them towards wanting to help other puppies and dogs get adopted. And I think that's kind of a great message to send out there.
Yeah, the euthanasia aspect is actually, like you said, something that caught me off guard too. But I am glad that it's there because, like you said, it does kind of show all sides of running a shelter. Tanner talked to us about like open versus closed shelters, where a closed shelter is like a private one and they can turn dogs away, while an open shelter is usually run by like the city or the government, and they have to accept all dogs. And unfortunately, there are situations where euthanasia is something that happens. But like Destiny said, you have the options to turn it off. Um, Mechanically, the two work almost exactly the same, where there will still be a cost associated with it. There will still be things that you have to deal with, whether you are euthanizing them or sending them to another shelter. So mechanically, it'll be the same, but just emotionally, it does add a different weight to it. Basically, dogs can show up, whether they kind of roam in or they're brought in through like an animal control agency, and your responsibility will be to make sure that they're kept properly, and they're not, all the different dogs have different traits. Make sure that they're in kennels with other dogs that share similar, not share similar traits, share positive traits, but if they have negative traits that are the same, like for example, if they are
Food
very high on,
aggressive.
yeah, food aggressive, if you put a lot of those dogs together, they can actually have traits develop where they become scarred or they become um, harder to adopt. So there's a lot of different systems going on where you have to manage the finances, you have to manage different events, you'll have different skill trees that you can use to kind of help um, help dogs get adopted or help give discounts and stuff. So there's a lot going in the game. Destiny, Tanner also told us about how they are working to any profits that they make off the game, 20% of that will be going to let me double check the agency because I just forgot off the top of my head, to Pet Finder Foundation, which is a foundation that helps dogs find homes and helps adoption agency deal with becoming no kill shelters. What did you think about that, Destiny? Because I think that's really interesting.
I thought that was amazing. I haven't heard of many games. Like honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I haven't heard of any games that like donate part of their proceeds to help situations like that. So I really love that they kind of paired with a charity. So for anybody who loves dogs, buy the game because part of that is going to go towards helping another person find a dog, and I
Mm-hmm.
think that's really amazing. I'm hoping personally that once the game gets big enough, they'll add kitties to it because you guys know
Kitties.
I love kitties, and I just love all the animals and I want them to find homes. And I don't know, I was surprised that they
Mm-hmm.
were doing that, like pleasantly surprised
Yeah.
and really happy. It makes me want to buy the game just so I can help donate that way.
Yeah, and something else that they told us about, and one of the reasons they went with that foundation is because they have a wide region, so that they can help a lot of different shelters, and that they are also working with the open admission shelters, which are the shelters that have to take in any dogs or animals that come their way. I think something that was incredible was that Freedom Games, the publisher that's working with them, actually went ahead and already donated $5,000,
That's amazing.
and they plan to donate more in the future. So it's an amazing opportunity to see a publisher and an indie developer with such a specific message go so well hand in hand and work together for even the charitable side of it, because it's not something that you see often. It's a really really rare and incredible thing.
Yeah, especially for something like you said, such a small niche, right?
Hmm.
So if any game developers are listening, uh, go with Freedom because it seems like they really care about those that they're helping and the games that they're developing because that's taking it to the next step, the next level. To be
Hmm.
like, hey, we really believe in your game, we believe in what you're doing, and we're going to match you for it. We're also going to donate $5,000 to help in the cause that your game is about. I think that's incredible.
I think it's a really really beautiful thing. We also got to see just how the kind of the game works. You'll be uh, managing the actual space. You'll be putting in different kennels, different areas for your dogs, for your have to have space for your dogs and for them to be able to play. You have the way that the kind of adoption system works is that as people kind of come in, they'll come in with specific traits. Either they'll be looking for just any dog, or they'll look for a small dog, or they'll look for a dog with a certain personality trait. And you kind of have these locations at the front where you'll bring dogs out. And what I really liked is that he told us about how it's almost like an inverse Pokemon situation where you're actually trying to increase your chances of adoption by kind of catering to their needs. Can you tell
Right.
me a little bit about how that system worked, Dee?
Um, like I how do you explain it? I feel like I'm not going to be very good at explaining how that, how that works. But each dog has its own kind of personality and traits, right? So you want to kind of match the owner up with those same traits. So let's say that your puppy's really happy and energetic and outgoing. You kind of want to match it with the same kind of person who has the same personality match. And I think once you do that, that actually helps in the game because what did he say? There's feedback. So let's say like
Mhm.
there's like a kind of a Facebook or like a Twitter within the game, and
Bark
then
Book.
say that one more time.
Bark Book. Theirs was
Bark
called Bark Book.
Bark Book. But you guys would know what Bark Book is. So it's like Bark
Hmm.
Book's basically like Facebook. And so
Hmm.
like they'll post like after they get the adoption, and some of it's just like random posts, but some of it's actually like dogs you've adopted to people, and they match up, and then they'll like come back and be like, oh, this was us at the park today, and
Hmm.
things like that. So it's a really important mechanic that you match the dog with the person, otherwise it won't work out.
Yeah, like there's almost like they call it like a health bar, that like if you line up the dogs properly, they'll kind of uh lower quote unquote the health bar of the person looking to adopt and kind of increase your chances. But then they have a bunch of skill trees and stuff to kind of help manage. Like you can offer discounts if you're unable to kind of get them the entire way there. So there's a lot of complexity in the systems, which I was actually kind of surprised about how deep they're going in.
Same.
There's like spreadsheets and stuff that you have to work on your finances, make sure that the situation's going well. Like Destiny was saying, there's Bark Book that actually also acts as like a reputation system. If your shelter is doing well and you're getting a lot of adoptions, you have a better reputation, which means better things will happen and it'll be easier to get your dogs adopted. So the game looks like really really deep. And something that I found really interesting was Tanner mentioned about how they spoke to different shelters and kind of asked them what they think that they needed to include. So they actually added in like a foster system into the game based on how much the shelters were saying that that's actually incredibly helpful. So you'll be able to have dogs go to different foster homes where they aren't fully adopted, but you won't have to feed them and give them water every day because they'll be taken care of properly. There's like staff you can hire on. There's so many things you can do in that game, and it just looks adorable.
Yeah, it
I
looks really adorable.
For a game I'd never heard about before, Destiny, actually getting to see it like shot up my list for one of my most anticipated games this year.
And you own
Um,
a dog, so I can see
yeah.
why like you would really want that. Um I just think it's one of the things I think is just very important is like you literally are running a dog shelter, like all the ins and
Mhm.
outs. And I think it's great that they went and they did their research before just putting out a game. It really shows.
Yeah, it does. I agree, Destiny. And what should people do if they want to help support?
Get it on your wish list and follow them. The game should be coming out pretty soon. I think like this fall,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
So please put it on your wish list. Check out videos about it. Follow them. The creator, they're so sweet.
Yes.
They're such nice people, and it was great talking to them. So please support them as best you can,
Yes,
especially if
please.
you're an animal lover.
Exactly. Please go wishlist the game. It makes a huge difference for indie developers. The game will be coming out this fall on PC, Mac, and Switch. So make sure you check out To the Rescue when it comes. We'll have more interviews with the developers coming in the future because they've agreed to come onto the show as well.
Yay!
Yay! So get ready for that. Keep it locked. We have much more content coming for you. Post shows, check out the other games that we've talked about because there are plenty. And there's going to be even more coming very, very soon. Thank you so much for watching. From Team Burnout, we'll check you on the next one. Peace
Stay
out.
tuned.